Bandai. What the Hey guys, welcome back to the Sensu Pub channel. What we have for you today is that if you have been on Facebook, I think you already seen Bandai finally pay some attention to the European players. I am living in Europe, so I'm affected by this. So Bandai posted on their Facebook page, so this is official, that they have a message for the European players. So if you have not read it, you have not seen the shitstorm, this is it. So basically what they are trying to say is that guys, in the official tourneys that they're gonna have, because due to the different release dates when for Europe than the other parts of the world, what they're gonna have is that we are unable to use the cards that we bought or import from other places on this official tourneys. But and moving forward, they will proceed to try to make it as a parallel release. But so far, we're looking at 2 months, 3 months release differences between Europe and America or the other parts of the world. So we are affected by that, and well, the replies wasn't that good. So let's take a look at some comments that are over there. So this guy basically says that, yeah, well, I go get a set and my card shop says that there's only one box, it's the same than what we have, and all they could get is that they're not planning to restock. Bandai, it's not planning to restock, reprint, so that's one, so screw you. So a lot of like through official means, and people are talking about, hey, what do you mean by through official means? Because we are not buying fake cards, we are buying actual cards that we buy from second hand players. So it's like the second hand market, and then we just buy from them, or we get a box from somewhere else and we get it imported. We people in Europe actually have to pay more because we have to take the custom and we have to take the shipping fees. Alright, so so what actually happens here? So let's be fair. European players are very frustrated. To start with, we are a very frustrated bunch of people. The reason why is because that number one, the card releases are very slow. So when Bandai makes an announcement like that and says, "I'm sorry," yeah, instead of saying, "Oh, you guys can." We understand you guys are feeling the heat and stuff like that. They come out and say that, I'm sorry, due to the different release date, you guys cannot use the cards that other people are using. So please wait, and that. So European players are very frustrated. We are really slow when it comes to card releases. For example, just last week alone, the shop that I play in finally gets their hand on a set 3 starter deck. So we're talking about the Son Goku GT starter deck, and we're talking about the Black Bardock starter deck. We just had it last week. Alright, we do not have Draft Box 2, and we are unable to get a display set. That means when we get a booster box of set 3, we are unable to do that unless we get it imported from some other parts. I think I understand from some of the discussion that's going on that some other countries and some other cities do have a better support, but in Europe, in Germany, no, we are not. We are basically we do not have any support. The problem with that is that when Bandai says, hey, you guys don't just hold on, you cannot use it in officially. The problem is that we are not living in the 80s anymore. We are global, we have the internet, and could you imagine that we are watching every time we turn on YouTube, people are doing unboxing, people are playing with new cards, talking about new deck tech. We don't have it. And those people who are fortunate enough to buy them and to import them, and we save up our money just to make sure that we get the cards so that we can play it. Bandai is saying that, sorry guys, you guys can't play it. That's pretty bad. And then the second part that European players are very frustrated is that there is no tourney support. We players makes our own tourney, and a lot of us we're making booster pack tourneys, so we have no BCC Gohan, BCC Goku. For real, I really imported my BCC Goku at 50 USD. 50 USD, and what happens is that I have to wait for a month of shipping, and then the guy just sent me one piece. I ordered like a 3 pieces and he sent me 1 piece, and that's that, right? I have to wait for another month. The guy is great. He says that he will send it again. But the problem is I have to wait for another month before I get my cards. So, and I have to pray to God or whatever it's out there, the card gods or the RNG god, that I don't get my stuff don't get caught in custom. So I have to think and said, okay, is the package getting too big? Is it getting too expensive? Does it look suspicious that it's not gonna get in custom? I really, okay, I am fortunate enough that I don't really care about the custom fee. The problem is once it gets stuck in a custom, I have to travel 1.5 hours, a little bit outside the city where I am in, just to go to the custom to make an appointment to get the cards. And the appointment would take roughly around 20 minutes to 30 minutes, but the whole traveling time, it's around 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Totally unnecessary, and it's very painful. But despite of all that, we European players are still playing. Could you imagine that with this post, Bandai is saying, hey guys, yes, we will release it we are releasing even later, but the problem, and yep, whatever cards that you have, you can't use it for official tourney. What official tourney? We don't have it. There's no support. So what are you talking about, right? So moving forward, let's talk about let's cut down on complaining. Moving forward, Bandai, we have a message for you. The European players have the message for you, right? Okay, I cannot represent European players. I think I don't feed the archetype. Okay, but today my WhatsApp group just started burning with all the messages. So in summary, if you want us to not use non-release cards in tourneys, then support our local cards, support our local store with the tourney kits, right? If you are the one who is organizing the tourney and you're giving us support, we understand. Okay, we take a step back. You're the guy who makes the tourney. You're giving us support. We understand that there is differences in release dates. There are things with distribution channels that we do not understand. Okay, cool. We understand. But the problem, but if you can't support our local store with tourney kits yet, then don't come and tell us and dictate us how to organize our own tourney. We are already very frustrated. Some of us even takes out from our own pocket, import some sleeves and put it in with our own money as prizes, just to have our own tourneys. That's what we are doing, right? So to give an analogy why European players are very angry with this particular thing is that currently, if Bandai, it's like a restaurant. So, but if Bandai is like a restaurant, and we European players are going there to eat, but Bandai has a problem with the restaurant due to some logistic issues. They don't have water. They can't serve water. Okay, so if you go to a restaurant to eat, you can get food, but you just can't get water. So what do the patrons, like the European players, go do? We bring our own water to the restaurant because we do need to drink. But the problem with that is that Bandai, instead of saying that, okay, you guys could bring your own water until we serve water, Bandai is saying to us and says, I'm sorry, no water is allowed if you want to play our game, if you want to come into our restaurant. But we said, but you don't serve water, we need water. And they said, no, sorry, no. So Bandai, if you're listening to this, or any guys who are listening to this, understand that this is the European players' frustration, and this is just not really good. Alright, so to be fair, so let's end this in a good note. What is Bandai trying to achieve here? I ask myself the question, what are they trying to do? What is their message? What is the problem that they're trying to address here? So to be fair, if you take a look, I really honestly think that moving forward, Bandai wants to support Europe, and Bandai wants to support the European store. So, but what they are trying to do here is to set a precedent to say, okay, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to sync up on the releases date, but this is the official rule that no, no cards that are not under the official release should be played in their official tourneys. So moving forward, I believe that Bandai is trying to do that, and they are trying to make tourneys happen in Europe. They're trying to ramp up the support when it comes to European players. So it's basically a good news to all European players. But I can understand the frustration, because I myself is guilty of the frustration. I was pissed this morning. I was really pissed. So I can understand. But once the saltiness cools down, once the smoke goes away, I can also understand that why Bandai is trying to do this. So to all European players, I think Bandai, what it's trying to do here is that Bandai is trying to ramp up support. Bandai wants to support us in doing that, but they still have a restriction, which is they need to be responsible, and they need to be accountable to their local distributors in Europe. So I understand we hate the local distributors. I'm not into this loop, but reading the comments, I get a sense of feeling on how the European players feels about this particular. But the thing is, I believe that Bandai is just trying to be accountable, to be fair also to the distributors. But Bandai is sending a message and says, okay, we are going to support the tourneys, we are going to support the local stores, they are going to support Europe. Alright, so take this with a good note. But before we end, let's talk about what Bandai could have done better. So Bandai, this particular piece of information, even though it is done with a good intention, I think the problem here is that Bandai kind of didn't really write it well. I mean, the intention was good, but the method was left much to desire. So I think Bandai should come out saying that they understand the frustration of the European players. They understand that we are actually burning a lot of money just to do what we do, and they would want to support the European players. They want to move forward. They want to support the European players. They hear us, they understand our frustration, and they want to support us. But officially, what they are trying to bring the dates of the releases as close as possible. They will try to make all these things. They're trying to print locally. They are trying to do that. But till then, when it is done, the official tourneys, going forward, the official tourneys, we are unable to use the cards that are not officially released in Europe. Of course, they'll try to close the gap. I believe this is what they really need to do. So, Bandai, thanks for trying to support us, but that piece wasn't really good. So ring us up. I don't work in PR, but in marketing, but maybe I could help you guys up a little bit. So so that's what I think. So if you have any comments, if you like, dislike, if you think that my assessment of the situation, remember, take some time to cool down European players before you comment underneath. Yeah, it's gonna be a shitstorm, I think. So take some time, cool down, think about it. I really think. But if you disagree, put it down in the comment. Let's have a discussion. If you agree, put it down. Like, dislike. This is it. But Bandai, I don't care. Energy, one take. Let's finish this. All right.